Good morning from St Mary's churchyard at Upper Swainswick this Friday morning. I must say, because the teacher husband has been on half-term holiday this week, I've lost track of the days, but it's Friday, isn't it? And I'm not sure what that is, but I'll investigate in a moment. As I said, it's a while since I've been up here, and I noticed on the way in a big national lottery sign saying that the church has benefited from a grant. And indeed, when I went in and checked the door, there was a sign on it saying it's closed. Hopefully it's going to open by Christmas, but they are spending money making a bit more space and rearranging things. This church, of course, is famous for its pub in the nave. The first Friday of every month, it invites people into the church for a pint of beer or a glass of wine, all the money going towards church funds, so it's a very good idea. I'll be back to see what improvements they've made later. A bit disappointed on the way up here to see more fly tipping beside the road, a lay-by. On the Gloucester Road, it looks like a fridge freezer has been tipped on the wayside. And then I get up here and I'm checking the low stone wall which overlooks the Woolly Valley on the road to Tadwick. It was subjected to graffiti. It must be a couple of months ago now. It's all still there. It's a shame that nobody around here can actually report it and get something done about it. But on Monday, I'll phone Council Connect, or at least email them and tell them about the fly tipping and the wall out here. Of course, the B&NES graffiti unit is one man, so he's got a busy week from week to week, dealing with people who just can't appreciate things as they are, things that are beautiful that have to be abused, but that's a whole other ball game which I won't bore you with now. I did want to say, while I'm sitting here, that I've heard the Fragrance Group, the Singapore-based hotel group who own what was the old MIN, the Mineral Water Hospital, have appointed a new architect. If you've been keeping up with developments, the planning committee of B&NES threw out their proposals for a luxury hotel because of the size of the extension, which would block the light for people living behind what would be the new development. I'm sure B&NES are anxious to give approval, otherwise the old MIN ends up like the old KES school in Broad Street as being a blot on the landscape, and by golly, the old KES school is something that B&NES needs to deal with very soon. Anyway, we'll wait and see, but I would imagine that in the new year a new set of proposals will be put before the planning committee and hopefully will win approval so the MIN can be saved. Wonderful to think about it being turned into a museum, but there's no money. Nobody has any money to do things like that. And at least with a hotel group, they have the funds, and it is their own risk. If they decide there's room in Bath for another luxury hotel, it's their risk and not ours. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. I did an article recently about a new addition to the street scene, something called a parklet. The idea being that in previous car space, you put seating or you put parking facilities for bikes. You decorate it with greenery and let people use it. It's a way of reclaiming part of the street back, of calming the area. They've appeared in Kingsmead Square, which is certainly one area in B&NES where the car is not going to be as welcome as it was. Obviously there'll be arrangements for deliveries for the shops, but it's going to be a much nicer area looking forward to next year when hopefully we've all been vaccinated against COVID-19. People can get out and start enjoying Bath again. I think it's a great idea, something that started in America many years ago. when a group of urban guerrillas actually took over a parking bay. They fed the meter, unrolled grass, and put a tree in a tub on top of it, reclaiming the space. People loved the idea, and in the end the authorities took it on. Sorry if I'm a bit on the slope here, but the table I'm sitting at and the chair I'm sitting on are sloping down the churchyard. I just suddenly thought of that. People will be watching to see if I fall over. Yes, so parklets are going to come in Milsom Street too, so look out for them. One final point, while I'm having a whinge, and this is something I've put on Instagram already, I'm sure Waitrose aren't alone in this. I'm sure all supermarkets are guilty of the same thing, but this was a jar, a plastic jar, in which dried mushrooms came. And we would love to reuse the jar, but it won't be full of porcini mushrooms, okay? So we wanted to peel the labels off. And that's where you're unable to do it, because whoever supplies the supermarket has used a glue that makes it impossible to take the label off. I was just making the point to Waitrose and all the other supermarkets, if you're going to buy stuff in handy little containers like this, you could do your bit for the environment in getting your suppliers to use a glue on their labels that makes them easy to remove, either by hand or by soaking in water, because we'd like to use this jar again. So if you work in the business, please pass that on. I don't know what other people think. You may just think I'm an old moaner, or as I was called the other day, an angry man. Enough said. Anyway, whatever you're doing for the rest of this Friday, enjoy it. And I've got to get out and about a bit more now, you know, because I've noticed that as far as the wardrobe goes, less and less within it actually fits anymore. So I would like your help and support on that one. I'm off. Have a good day.